Namaste and good morning, everyone. Let's start our Wednesday class. First prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhurbhavaswaha, Tatsavitra Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Naha Prachodayat, Asto Ma Satamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamya. Om Sahnavavatu, Sahnabhanatu, Saviryam Karvavai, Tejasvi Navadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, today we are still covering the verses I sent you last week. And if you remember, the last verse which we looked at, over there, this Rishi is saying that those whose knowledge is complete in this and who are perfect in the state of Brahma indeed have attained the Brahma, not others who simply talk. And I was telling you that the first stage is to bring this vritti more and more into our consciousness. And the second stage comes when we are increasingly aware of the vritti constantly. And then we identify ourselves with it. We gain the experience that there's nothing but God. And in the first stage, we learn, we listen from the great teachers, we understand it, assimilate it, absorb it in our mind. We try to see what is in the book. And whatever is in the book must be part and parcel of us. Then what is there in the mind must become our own intimate experience. It should not stay in the words or in the books alone. This intimate experience will come only when we practice this for a pretty long time with faith, with the devotion and sincerity. And those who do not do these things, but merely talk about, according to these rishis, they are mere prattlers. Okay, so this is not something we just only talk about. That's why step by step he gave us how to practice, how to gain this experience. Now the next verse in that list is Kushlaha Brahma Varta Yam Vriti Hina Suragina Te Api Agyanatya Nunam Punaha Jayanti Yanti Cha. Kushal. Kushal means experts. Brahma Varta Yam Vriti Hina, in vain talk about the truth. So Vriti Hina. Suragina, those who do not practice. So that means those who are attached to this material world. Te means they, api means also, agyanteya, due to ignorance. Nunam, surely. Punha, again. Ayanti, take birth. Yanti, go. That means go and die. Cha means and. Those who are experts in vain talk about Brahma. And those who do not practice are indeed ignorant. And they are born to die again and again. So that means they do not reach the goal. In order to reach that ultimate goal, we have to practice. Because we know that there are some who are experts in explaining all about God. because they have the knowledge. But knowledge is only in the brain. The knowledge leaks out of them now and then, only through the mouth. This knowledge should express in our actions. But if it does not express in actions, they may be experts in subtly arguing about it, but they have not subjectively experienced this Brahma vritti. So, in other words, they have intellectual appreciation of the great knowledge, but they are not capable of translating it in and through their actions. So, in other words, they can say that, yeah, we should speak truth, don't hurt anybody. But are their actions showing that or not? They have a good command over the language. They can even arrange the ideas in well-chosen phrases convincingly, but they have never felt subjectively what they express vocally. Okay? They have never in their lives ever experienced this vritti and have not thought of practicing this vritti. So that's why this Rishi is calling them ignorant. Why they are not practicing? Because they are riddled with thousands of desires, earning and spending, seeking and indulging in all sense pleasures. And they're wasting this God-given life and energy. The world may call them great philosophers. They may write many sturdy philosophical books also. But according to this reality, this spiritual parlance, they are called deluded fools because they are under the grip of ignorance. And they, in their ignorance, keep on creating this delusion again and again. And that's the reason they are under the grip of this birth and death. We take birth because we have certain vasanas. We have certain desires to fulfill. And we come over here and we create more vasanas. So that's why they come here again and again into these sensuous worlds. The idea is to exhaust the vasanas, but they create even more vasanas. So two defects in these people to have the great experience of Brahmavritti. One is their lack of knowledge about this Brahm Akar Vritti. The other is their lust and passion for the sensuous world. So no subjective experience of a Brahm and lot of passion for this material world. And such persons come under the sway of the forces of birth and death. Okay? We don't have to point out to others. We got to look within ourselves. Where do we stand? We study scriptures. We practice. Are we practicing enough that our ignorance becomes less and less? This is all for us, not for others. Nimeshartham na nishthanti brahm yim vritim vina yatha tishthanti brahmadya sanakadya shuk adya. Nimeshartham. even for a half a moment. Na means not, tishtanti, remain. Brahm yem vritim, the thought of truth, the Brahm. Bina means without, yatha, just as. Tishtanti, remain. Brahm, Brahmadya, Brahma and others. Sanakadya, Sanak and others. Shukadya, Shuk and others. So Brahma, Sanak and Shukadya. So just as Brahma, Sanak, Shuk and others, the real aspirants, cannot remain even for a moment without the thought of Brahma. So he is giving us the names of those great devotees, great personalities, those who have gained the knowledge of the Brahmakar Vritti. We must emulate these great ones if we want to transcend all this. If we want to experience the peace which passeth all understanding. So the seekers desirous of reaching the highest state must faithfully follow the footprints of the great on the sands of time. That's why it's very important to have a live Guru. We can always remember that our Guru did it, how our Guru walked on this path. We can do it too. We get encouragement. The ones that have made footprints on the sands of time are the ones who never remained even for a moment without a thought of Brahma. Shwas, Shwas, mein naam, God's name. Such great ones constantly and continuously remember that they are the Brahma and not the destructible, finite, functioning body-mind. Such seekers who are desirous of this higher stage should ever spend all their moments in identifying themselves with this vritti, aham brahmasmi. But to learn how to emulate the great souls, you can, if you know about Brahma, Sanak, Shukadi, sure. But otherwise, if you know some other great teachers, remember those. Mere study of the books will not do it. It must be followed by an intense thirst to live those ideas we read about in the books. This worldly life does give us a strain and stress, but come out of that strain and stress quickly. Only then we will move forward. Then he says, Karye Karanta Ayatah Karane Nahi Karyata Karantvam Tataha Gachet Karya Bhave Vicharata. Karye, in the effect. Karanta, the cause. Ayataha, concurrent. Karane, in the cause. Na means not, he means verily. Karyata, the effect. Karanatvam, the cause. Tataha, therefore. Gachet, goes. Karya bhave, in the absence of effect. Vicharataha, by logic, by inquiry. The cause is concurrent and inherent in the effects, and not the effects in the cause. Let me repeat it again. The cause is inherent in the effects and not the effects in the cause. Therefore, by logic, it is clear that in the absence of effects, the cause as such also cannot remain. So this is a discussion on the effect and the cause, or karya and the karan. So the inquiry into the cause and effect relationship, you can call it. This is the essence or the backbone of all scientific investigations. All scientific investigation is nothing but the relationship between cause and effect. In our attempt to investigate into the nature of the effect, we inquire into the fields of the cause. This is also called cause hunting. This is a process by which a scientist can understand what life is. So inquiry is very important factor. So Vedic rishis also, they inquired into to understand the truth. So they say that if an effect cannot be without a cause. It is true that wherever there is an effect, there is a cause. Wherever there is a gold chain, there is gold. Okay, so cause is the gold, effect is the chain. Where there is no gold, there cannot be a gold chain. As simple as that. So long as the chain remains, gold is there. The effect, the karya, cannot be without the cause, the karan. In fact, a cause can remain without an effect. But not the other way around. So in the same way, the Lord, the cause of the world, can remain without the world. But this world cannot remain without the Lord. There is in the cause the possibility of the manifestation of the effects. In fact, the effects are all in a subtle form. There's a hidden possibility in the causes. Gold can remain without an ornament, but ornaments cannot remain without gold. We know that an effect cannot be without a cause. And also remember, the cause is not far away from the effect. It is inherent in the effect. That's what this verse is telling us. So the effect is intrinsically nothing but the cause. Or you can say cause pervades the effect. So this universe and all things in this universe are all pervaded by the God. The reality, the Brahma, whatever word you want to use, the essence of the whole world is nothing but the Brahma. The properties of the effects are there in the cause as possibilities. So the properties of the cause are there in the effect. You can take another example. The waves are not there in the ocean, but the ocean is in the waves. That's what Lord Krishna told us in Gita. I am there in sansar. The sansar is not there in me. I am the basis or support of the polarity. But in the polarity, I'm not. That means I do not identify myself with the body, mind, intellect to become the co-sharer, the joys and the sorrows. That's what Lord said. But the body, mind, and intellect cannot exist without me. So the cause is ever independent of the effects. God is present everywhere. When I inquire into the nature of this light of consciousness, I find that this light is the nature of the experience. When I try to contact that light without its effects, ceases to be there. Looking at the body, mind, intellect, if I try to seek the cause for these, forgetting that the effect is nothing but the cause. So remember, we are the effects, God is the cause. God is ever with us, the effects. The moment I contact the cause and experience the cause, the effect has totally merged with the cause. And then the effect ceases to exist in that state. That's why they say one alone remains. Brahm Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahm alone is real, the world is an illusion. When I identify and experience the cause, the effect ceases to exist. So when the effect has disappeared, how can we call the cause a cause? Cause of what? So the idea of the cause also vanishes. And that's when we can say that cause-effect relationship has transcended. अथ शुद्धम भवेत वस्तु यत् वै वाचाम अगोचरम दृष्टव्यम मृदतेन दृष्टा अंतेन एव पुनः पुनः. Ath means thereafter. So we are talking about over here the sadhana which can take us to that level. Shuddham, pure, bhavet remains, vastu, truth. Yat means which, where means indeed, vacham, speech, agocharam, beyond. Drishtavyam, should be realized. Mridhtenev, drishta, anten, with the mud and pot example. Ev means very, puna puna, again and again. Thereafter, the pure Brahm remains, which is beyond speech. This should be realized. Pondering over that again and again through the examples of mud and pot. So, Mrit Ghat. Now, as the contemplation goes on, as explained in the previous verse, that the cause itself is the effect, or the effects are pervaded by the cause, that the cause can remain without the effect. And when I search for that cause, the vital force in me realizes that at that time there's no cause, because there are no effects anymore. So after realizing this fact, the reality becomes pure. It becomes the pure consciousness which is imperceptible, which cannot be explained in terms of words. So that's why he said, Vachama Gocharam. Cannot explain it. It cannot be explained in terms of our conscious senses. That means our eyes cannot see it, our ears cannot hear it. So, because it's beyond the experiences of our sense organs. Why? Because it's pure, absolute reality. And we should try to experience it again and again. We are not experiencing it so that we can explain it or brag about it. We need to experience it again and again for ourselves. That's what the Chandogya Upanishad said too. There is a verse in the Chandogya Upanishad, Vacha Rambhanam Vikaroho Namadeyam Mritika Eva Satyam. That means the names in the world are only just words, just names. Name is for the cause, whether you say a pot or a cup or a jug or a wall. They are only words, mere words. All of them are nothing but the causes, the clay. So these are the effects, names we have given, cause is the clay. The cup is not like the pitcher. That's why different name is given to a cup. Further, they are meant for different purposes. All of them. The Satya Vastu, the changeless thing, which remains the same in the past, present, and future, is the clay and clay alone. The play of different names and forms is called the polarity of the clay world. So Satya Vastu in them is only the clay. So what is the Satya Vastu in us? Name was just given to us for this lifetime. And it can be changed too. Or even for our sense organs or the body or the mind, in different languages, we have different names. We got to understand what is the Satya Vastu in us. That's what the Upanishads try to take our attention to. As a seeker, we need to experience it. Experience this reality again and again, they say. That is the only way to develop this Brahmakar vritti in ourselves. It's not just once, again and again. What is the cause for all these effects? Anen prakaren ev vritti brahm atmikaha bhavet udeti shuddha chita nam vritti jnanam tatha parama. Anen prakaren, by this process. Ev means alone. Vritti, the awareness or thought, Brahm Atmika of truth, Bhavet becomes Udeti, dawns. Shuddha Chitanam, in the mind of the pure. Vritti Jnanam, knowledge. Tataha, thereafter. Param, absolute state. By this process, in the mind of the pure, the awareness of Brahma dawns. And this should be merged into the absolute state. Again and again, he talks about a pure mind. In the list of those abhyas also, the steps, purity is very important. Even when we say ahimsa, ahimsa is because of we want to have a purity. So with reference to the effect alone is the cause a cause. With reference to my husband, I'm a wife. I was not born as a wife. When the effects are not there, then the cause cannot be called a cause. So in order to become a knower, there must be something to know. When the perceptions and thoughts are transcended, then there's nothing to know. There are no objects. There are no emotions, no thoughts. When the thought is ended, that means even the thought is ended, what is there for me to know? Then I become not a knower, but knowledge itself. In that state, my vritti will be of the nature of Brahma. All thoughts have ended. The mind becomes pure. In that pure mind arises the vritti jnanam of the Brahma. Brahma is our real nature. We are that alone. A seeker is expected to seek the effect and trace the cause and effect and identify with the cause only. Cause only. And that is called dharma also. Dharma. When we detach ourselves from the effects and identify with the cause, we become the very cause, and then it cannot be called a cause. Because a cause is a cause only in reference to the effect. Then alone does the Brahmakar vritti develop, and this vritti by itself turns into Brahma. Let's do one more verse. Karnam vyatirekena uman adau vilokyet anavyena punha tathi karye nityam prapashyate. Karnam, the cause, vyatirekena, by the process of negation. Uman, a person. Adau, first. Vilokyet, should perceive. Anavyen, by positive methods, like assertion. Punha, thereafter, tat means that, he means verily, karye, in the effect. Nityam, always, parpashyati, perceive or see. First, one should perceive the cause in all effects by the process of negation. Thereafter, by the positive methods, one should perceive the cause as concurrent in all effects. So he's taking us towards a very high level of meditations over here. So by negating our identity with the body, mind, intellect, see, when we do this Gyan Mudra, this is a negation. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. That is a process of negation. We try to seek the cause for all of it. I'm not the body, but I do see that I have a body. How does this body, where did it come from? We then come to know that it is the supreme consciousness in whose presence and with whose light I can perceive this body. I can feel my mind. And I can recognize my intellect. When the consciousness ceases to work through all this equipment, these equipments, they fail to function. When they disconnect from this Atma, or in common language, we say Atma has gone. Then this, no matter how beautiful this body is, cannot function. Even while eating something, we first negate what is not edible. Whether it's a peel of a banana or whether the seeds of some other fruit which is not edible. So the same way the outer layers are rejected and the inner entity is identified with. That is a process of negation. When I'm hearing something, there is a hearer. The ear cannot be the hearer. The hearer is the one who staying behind the ear and hears everything. This hearer behind the ear is the cause of hearing. In the same way, the seer behind the eyes, the taster behind the tongue, and the smeller behind the nostrils is the real cause, the real perceiver. Without this subjective principle functioning behind all these organs, there cannot be any perceptions, there cannot be any feelings or any thoughts. This subjective one is the one we are seeking. We want to know this. Life after life, we want to know who we are. When we come to know that wherever there is an effect, there should be a cause. So first I recognize the effect, and then by negating the effect, I try to seek the cause. Then I identify myself with the cause and come to experience that the effect is inherent in the cause. Going to that example of the ornament, we understand that the ornament is gold. Then we reject the shape, form, and the name of the ornament. Then we know what remains is gold. So the same way in spirituality, we first reject what we are not. And after that, by positive method, comprehend the truth that the entire world of polarity is nothing but Brahma, the truth, the God. So in the effect, the cause is ever present. We apprehend the self by the method of negation. Then by the positive method of identification with the self, we come to experience the self in all objects at all times. That's why Lord Krishna said, I'm everywhere. Whether it's a mud or a thorn or a tree or a saintly person or a gambler, sun or the moon, doesn't matter. I'm everywhere. So with the help of these studies, by staying on the path, by keeping our sadhana, we should reach here where we can really see the cause, not just get bewildered with the effects only. the cause. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much.